I went to a horror festival a little while ago, and I thought it would be, because it was a horror festival, right? Where was it? It was bloody Mile End Road. It was in this cinema that nobody's ever bloody heard of. They were showing like about 5 or 6 films. One of them was Carry On Screaming. And the reason they were going to show Carry On Screaming is because Vanilla Fielding was going to be there. And everybody was going, oh, Vanilla Fielding's going to be there, great, man, you know, brilliant, great, excellent and all this. Unfortunately, before the film festival, Vanilla Fielding dropped dead, which was a little inconvenient. I suggested, being a horror festival, they should dig her up and bring her anyway, but nobody thought it was funny really, except for me of course. Anyway, I thought it'd be a bloody good idea to dress up as a vampire. Marvellous. So I went down to my mate, who was an optician, and I said, I did this once before as vampire, but what I really need is contact lenses. And he said, I don't do them, he says, because basically people could get terrible eye infections because they don't put them in right. It's awful. Oh, only a disreputable optician would sell you those. I said, could you recommend a disreputable optician that would sell me a set? And he said, no, I bloody well can't. He said, no, I'm not doing it. He said, I'm not selling you. Anyway, lucky enough, there's an invention called the internet. And it wasn't long before I'd ordered 2 pairs. Waited a few days, this contact lenses sorted out. Now, my optician Tony, he said if I do manage to get all these contact lenses, please come down there and he'll show me how to put them in and tell me how to treat them in sort of like solution and make sure everything goes all right. Well, of course, I didn't have bleeding time to go down there. The contact lenses turned up. It was the day of the thing. I had my vampire teeth. I had sort of like, well, I had the contact lenses. Didn't have a bleeding clue how to put them in, but never mind. I went on the internet. Bloody internet's marvellous, isn't it? Went on the internet and there was some bloody expert on bloody contact lenses and yes, whatever. That was the best I got anyway. So I put my teeth in, put my makeup on, fucking done all this. Put my contact lenses in. It took me 50 fucking minutes to get these things in. 50 minutes. I was lucky to have a bleeding eye left at the end of it. All my eyes were watering anyway, sort of like got down. Anyway, John come up. John's the cameraman here now. John come round and he says, oh, you know, you said you're going to do an interview for me about vampirism. And I said, okay, yeah, I forgot about that. You know what I mean? We were in a real worry at this point because my wife's shit at getting ready and she was running us late and I was looking after someone's dogs and the fucking place was in chaos. But I says, okay John, we'll do it. So he sat down and he says, what seems to be the problem? And I said, oh well, my dentist ain't too happy. I just started making things up. My dentist ain't too happy. I had a beautiful 16th century coat on, frilled shirt, you know, proper teeth and leather trousers. I look bloody marvellous. A twat, but marvellous. And I was sitting there and John was going, what seems to be the problem? I was going, well, my dentist is, I've got a problem. See these teeth? My dentist is going bloody mad. He's filed them down 3 times and they just keep growing back. And I was going, look, my eyeball has gone yellow there. Do you think that's hepatitis? I said, the other thing is, I keep going like that as well. And, you know, what's all that about? You know what I mean? He's going, I was going, you know, it's terrible. You know, he's going, I just don't fancy food anymore. And I said, all I fancy really is the blood of a virgin. And you're never going to find one round here. I'm going to fucking starve to death. Anyway, yeah, it went on like, I don't know, like things like, my mate who works down in the hospital, I got him to examine me now. He knows about the medical profession. He's worked down in the hospital for 20 years. As you know, pushing corpses around basically, as a you know, porter basically down the morgue. So he knows about, you know, bodies and, you know, he's basically a doctor. He's an expert, you know what I mean? Proper bloke, well, sort of. Alright, he might not have the certificates, but he knows. So anyway, he come down, he gave me the once over and he said, well, he said, I think I found a problem. I said, what's that? He says, you're dead. And I said, what do you mean I'm dead? He said, yeah, you're dead, your heart's not beating, you're not breathing, you're dead. I said, and I was quite upset to start with, because, you know, my mate, Dave, he knows everything about it, as I've just said. So I was quite upset at first, but then I thought, hang on a minute, I could probably get a grant for this off the bleeding council. So I went down to council, and the council said, you know, oh yeah, well, basically, yeah, you could get a grant to help with your funeral costs and that. But the problem is, you're not actually dead. You're what we term as undead, which means you're not dead or alive, you're in between the two. So you can't get a grant. Now, you can't give you the grant anyway, we can only give it to your wife, and that is to help towards the funeral costs. But since that you're walking about, you don't need a funeral, so we ain't going to give you a bloody typical of the council. They get out of anything on any fucking technicality. That's it. So we didn't get the money for that. Anyway, this went on and sort of like whatever. Anyway, John left. By this time, the place was in real chaos. We were now like over an hour late for this bloody thing. The films must have been showing by now. Any celebrities that were going to bring on it, you know, and I was going to my wife, we really, really, really must go. You know, you've made us really late, and I'm having a real go at her. Anyway, we get all the way nearly to the train station, and I realised I'd left something at home. I had to go all the way back, and then all the way back to the train station, because my wife loved this, because now it's my bloody fault, not hers. Now it's my fault we're late, she can sit back and enjoy it. So, you know, she's going, and I was going, look, come on, hurry up. She said, why should I hurry up? It's you that made us late. I knew she'd say that. Yeah, it's you that made us late. And I said, look, we've got to leave here now. She said, oh, why? And I'm going, look, the football special's coming in any minute, and I'm just like a twat. That's why we need to move. So, we got out of the station eventually, right, just before the train came in, probably, and then we got to the Mile End Road. Problem is, we were the wrong end of the Mile End Road, so I had to walk 1.5 miles down the Mile End Road dressed up as a vampire, right? Dressed up as a vampire. There was cars bleeping and people bloody like, you know, making a sign of a cross and all sorts of stuff going on. Anyway, I had this for 1.5 miles. Surprised I wasn't even mugged down there. Anyway, got to the cinema, the location, finally found it, gets in there. My eyes was watering from these contact lenses. Anyway, finally gets in there. I said, we're going to see the film. Anyway, I hadn't really thought these lenses through. As I say, I only had about a bloody, I just had to stick them in, do my best, you know what I mean? I only had a little tutorial off the internet, didn't have a proper bloke showing me or nothing anyway. When I gets in the cinema, everything was pitch black. I mean, I could see nothing. It was like complete darkness. So I said, Kathy, that's my wife, I said, I can't see, you're going to have to guide me up the stairs to our seats. So she's dragging me up the stairs, and then she stops and she says, right in here. Of course I couldn't see her hand because I'm completely blind. So I went where I thought she had, and I said, bloody hell, these are like VIP seats, and I'm bouncing up and down like this going, these are good. And she said, Simon, you're on somebody's lap. And I was sitting on some bloke's lap, bouncing up and down. And I bet, right, when he woke up that morning, he never thought a 50-odd-year-old bloke was going to be bouncing up and down on his lap that day. But what can I say about that? Nothing. You know what I mean? Anyway, he weren't too happy, but, you know, watched the film. I could see the screen, but my eyes were watering and it was all blurred, but, you know, it had to make do anyway. We were in, you know, in between films having a drink and sort of like that, and I was talking to somebody in the foyer, and one of my teeth came out, and it would go right between the bleeding eyes. It took me bloody 5 minutes to find it on the floor, so I found my tooth. I was there because one of them I couldn't get in properly because I didn't have the proper glue. I just bought this other glue which didn't seem to work, but it was a nightmare anyway. Anyway, finally, we watches all the film, you know, bought the memorabilia, did all the stuff. Finally got home and got to the bathroom. I couldn't get the bloody contact lenses out. Took me 1.5 hours to get them out. I'm poking myself in the arms. Couldn't get them out. They were like bonded to my bloody eye. It was a nightmare. Anyway, I finally get them out. Gets the teeth up, changes, goes to bed. Wakes up the next morning. There's a phone call from John. John turns around to me and says, you know that video I took of you yesterday doing the thing about the vampire? I said, yeah. He said, you'll have to shoot it again. I didn't have the sound on it. I said, you're having a fucking laugh. I said, that's your lot. No more vampires for me. And that is it. So that's the moral of the story. When you're like, going on 60 years old, don't dress up as a fucking vampire and go to a film festival. Not only do you look a twat, it's hard work. That's the story.